Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Under the Radar presents Movie Commentaries. And this is part 3 of our Tom Hanks month. And we started off with The Money Pit a few weeks ago. We did a commentary for that. And the other night, we did Castaway, which was a lot of fun. And now, tonight, we're going to do another Tom Hanks drama, a classic from 1995. Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard. And it tells the story of 3 astronauts who, on their way to the moon, basically trouble strikes. There's an explosion on board the spacecraft, and they are forced to go back home. They lost the moon. They couldn't get to the moon, and now they are struggling to get back home to Earth. With me tonight to do this commentary, we have Mr. Chris Clemente. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Randy? Pretty good, pretty good. I'm really excited to watch Apollo 13 again with you. So it's
I know, it's great.
exciting.
We actually had a lot of fun. I think it was 2 years ago when we saw Brian Grazer, the producer of the film,
Has it
speak
been 2 years? Wow.
speak with the director Ron Howard, and that was an amazing
Yeah.
amazing evening. I even got my Apollo 13 Blu-ray autographed by Brian.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. He was promoting a
Mm-hmm.
book, and yeah, I'll never forget that. That was at the 92nd Street Y in Manhattan.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah. He's done a ton of stuff, and he has really good positive energy. That's what I took away from him. That he's not just this producer guy. He's actually, investing in movies that he believes in, and you could tell that he's a fan first, which is really cool.
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, you definitely need a filmmaker who loves film, who loves, that feeling and knows how to bring great stories to the screen. And he's been doing so, I think, since another Tom Hanks movie, Splash, in 1984. That was also
mhm,
directed by Ron Howard.
mhm.
And they've worked on countless projects, and they just had this great synergy, great chemistry, and
Yeah,
they certainly know how to pick projects.
yeah. Certainly like a good yin and yang type of relationship. Like they complement each other.
Yeah.
So,
And I just wanted to mention again, Lifeline Energy is a charity that Tom Hanks is involved with. And basically, he brings technology and energy means to underdeveloped nations, most notably in certain parts of Africa. So if you want to learn more about that cause, go to Twitter and look up Lifeline Energy, or you can also Google it and check out their website to get involved. So it's a great cause. So yeah, that's Lifeline Energy, guys. So all right, so let's get this show on the road.
mhm.
Let's take our journey to the moon, or we'll try getting there tonight. Hopefully, disaster won't strike. But
Well,
I have.
brace yourself.
Yes, yes. So, Chris, I believe you have the Blu-ray.
Mhm.
I do as well.
I don't have the signed Blu-ray like you.
Oh, next time Brian is in town, we'll make sure to get that to
Yeah, I remember he was really gracious about it too.
Yeah,
Some people would be like, "No, you just have to sign my book," but he's like, "No, bring on the
that was
fanfare." So,
that was one of the coolest moments of my life, I'll be
mhm,
honest with you, because I
mhm,
had the
mhm,
Blu-ray, I had the book, I wanted to get both
mhm,
signed. But
mhm,
first I was like, Brian, can you please sign my Blu-ray? And this
mhm.
like this security guard bouncer was like, no, he's only signing books. And then Brian Grazer like gave this look like, and he pulled the Blu-ray and signed it. And
Mhm,
that was one of the coolest moments ever.
mhm,
So I'm grateful to you, Brian, if you're watching this now, if you're listening, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was cool. So
mhm,
so, all right, this movie, it's just under about 2.5 hours, so we should probably get this started.
mhm,
Um, all right, right now I'm actually at 0 on the counter for the runtime.
mhm.
So let me see here.
I'm just at the logo of the bright sunset. the sunrise, I should say, of the
Okay.
Universal logo.
All right. So I'll count down from 3,
Hmm.
and when I say play, we will hit play.
Cool.
All right, guys. So if you're streaming, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, we're at 0 or right when you see the beginning of the Universal logo. And 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, classic. That's the classic logo from the late 80s, I believe, up until the mid 90s. And they used that up until the Lost World Jurassic Park, where they used a different version of the logo with different music.
Hmm.
Um, and speaking of music, this score is actually my favorite score by James Horner. People probably know him best for Titanic, Braveheart, Glory, Land Before Time, An American Tail. The list goes on. He passed away a few years ago, tragically, in a plane crash. But he left behind such a wonderful catalog of scores, just beautiful, beautiful music. Most of which, like Apollo 13's score, very heroic, very patriotic. So he was like the perfect choice. I mean, I would think another choice would be Jerry Goldsmith, but this is my favorite Horner score. Chris, how do you feel about the music?
I mean, I love it. I mean, it's classic. It gets you right in the mood.
Yep.
So for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Um, and you know what? I meant to ask this at the top of the commentary, but what was your first experience with this film with Apollo 13?
Oh man, it's it's definitely like it was definitely like the height for me just watching like just blockbuster movies with my family, like Friday nights, and this was kind of like prime, blockbuster nights, like just weekend nights of movie watching.
Yeah.
Um, I remember. I mean, you're definitely more of a Tom Hanks guru than I am,
Yeah.
but this kind of pivoted my view of Hanks because I remember him more from his comedies and his romantic comedies. But
Yeah.
this for me, and I think I'm not sure if I saw this before or after Forrest Gump. When did this come out? You know,
95,
95. So Gump was actually before, right?
1 year before, yeah.
1 year before. So yeah, I knew him from Gump.
Hmm.
So I think that was probably pivoted me from his comedies. But this kind of pivoted me again to being more of like almost an action hero, So like to me at this point, like I thought, well, like what else can he do action wise? Like is he going that route? So
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
definitely kind of stretched his this Gump, and yet to come, like it definitely stretched his range from prior work.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Forrest Gump was a definite turning point
Turning point. Yeah.
because it was
Sure.
like it was romantic, it was comedic, dramatic, it was action packed.
Right.
Um, this is a little more narrowed down to like sort of like drama thriller, I'd
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
docudrama.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are moments of tension that you really haven't seen in a Tom Hanks movie prior. I
Yeah.
think the closest would come in Turner and Hooch a few years prior in 1989, because
Hmm.
the last like half hour of that movie was very serious and action packed. It felt
Hmm.
like like a Tony Scott action movie.
Hmm.
Actually,
Hmm.
so that was a side of Hanks we'd never seen before.
Mm.
But this movie just continued to solidify him as a movie star.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because at this point in 1995, he had already won 2 Academy Awards, and I think he was nominated for this as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
So could be mistaken on that, but this was definitely nominated for Best Picture among other awards.
If
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. This lost to Braveheart.
yeah,
Braveheart one. Yeah.
1995. Yeah, that was Braveheart.
Good year. Good year for films.
Yeah, and that score was also by James Horner. I'll
Wow.
tell you a little bit. I'm going to be mentioning James Horner a lot tonight. I'm just letting you know. He did this. He did Braveheart. He did Balto. He did Casper, Jumanji, and I think he had just finished Legends of the Fall. So between
Wow.
1994 and 1995,
That
he
guy was
composed
working.
yeah, man. And though a lot of the scores do sound alike, and he has been accused of self-plagiarism. I don't even know if that's a thing, but yeah, it all sounds so good.
Yeah.
There are some great cues in
So
all the scores.
he was accused of just sounding the same.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But you know what? Studios like that. So
Yeah.
they knew what they were getting.
For sure. Yeah.
So now, and we just saw in the credits that this movie is actually based on the real Jim Lovell's book, Lost Moon,
Mm-hmm.
which I've never read it. But I think it chronicles the whole mission, the events leading up to it, and the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
And Hanks, he before this movie, he was actually a really strong, he's like a kind of a nerd when it came to like space, manned space flight and
Mm-hmm.
NASA. And
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lovell, the real Jim Lovell, was like impressed at his knowledge of,
Mm.
being an astronaut and all in the space program. So,
Mm.
but I think originally they wanted Kevin Costner because he looks like the real Jim Lovell,
Mm.
but
I was going to
somehow,
ask that. Was he the first choice?
yeah,
Because
no, they really wanted Kevin Costner, but I don't know. I guess because Hanks and Ron Howard worked together on Splash,
mm-hmm.
that they already knew each other, they had rapport, and his knowledge of NASA and all that, it just worked in his favor.
Mm.
Oh, and here's Kathleen Quinlan as the wife, Marilyn, and she was nominated for an Academy Award, but
Really?
I think she lost to Mira Sorvino in Mighty Aphrodite. If I'm not mistaken. She's good. She's very convincing.
Mm.
Hmm. 96.
So you're more of the trivia guy when it comes to this, but here's one sidebar piece of trivia. It could be quite possible that without Apollo 13, we may not have Netflix.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
that's true.
you mean the movie or the actual event?
The company, Netflix, you may not be using it to stream your beloved shows and movies. So let me look up his name is escaping me. Reed. Wait 1 second. Reed Hastings. Reed Hastings is the CEO and founder of Netflix.
All right.
And it's been reported, he's mentioned this quite a bit times, but his inspiration for creating Netflix was because back in the day when there was home rental stores, he rented Apollo 13 and he never returned it on time, and he acquired a $40 late fee. So he that kind of sparked the seeds to create a DVD service at that time where there was no such thing as late fees.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is, I love that. Yeah, I had Judge Dredd on VHS for like a year. I forgot about it, and yeah, I don't even want to know how much that fee is. I think we switched video stores for some reason, but for some reason I had this copy of Judge Dredd, and not the greatest movie, but yeah.
Oh, I love Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I got to
I love
revisit.
I love the new movie too.
I
The
think that was
Jedi.
better.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
and
was really cool.
you know, okay, so in the previous scene, um, Jim Lovell, played by Tom Hanks, was giving like a VIP tour of the vehicle assembly building,
Yeah.
and one of the VIPs was Roger Corman.
Mm.
Um, you know, he was a he's a filmmaker, was a filmmaker. I don't know if he's still alive, but but yeah, slight cameo there.
Okay.
And as a kid, for some reason, I always wanted this yellow flight suit and jacket. I love it. I don't know why. It's just it looks so cool.
What kid didn't want to be an astronaut?
You know,
Yeah.
I was 10 when this came out, so that
Yeah.
was
Me too.
it's great. So I think I saw this movie when it first came out in the same theater I saw Forrest Gump. So yeah, that was in Forest Hills. Good times. I don't think that theater. No, that theater is now a Buffalo Wild Wings, unfortunately. But yeah, good memories.
Yeah, no, for me, the majority of like these experiences were blockbuster rentals.
Yeah.
Um, it was until I probably was like a teenager where I went to the movies more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the late 90s, early
Hmm.
2000s. I would like go every week,
Yeah.
see everything that was coming out.
Yeah.
And I love the attention to detail.
Oh
Ron
yeah.
Howard, he pulled out all the stops for this.
Yeah.
It really feels like it's 1970, and and the scene coming up in right before the launch when they're strapping in they're putting on the space helmet and they snap it in.
Hmm.
I think they used actual NASA equipment for those
Yeah.
scenes. It's crazy. And Gary Sinise obviously worked with Hanks the year before in
Hmm.
Forrest Gump. I wish he had
Lieutenant
more.
Dan.
I wish he had more of like a bigger role in this because he's fantastic. Yeah, Lieutenant Dan, magic legs. But you know what? Kevin Bacon is pretty charismatic, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good team.
Yeah, great cast. Bill
Yeah.
Paxton's
Bill
amazing.
Paxton. Yeah.
Was amazing. He was so.
Yeah.
When he passed, that was a shock. That
That was a big surprise. Yeah.
sucked.
I always get I always get I always do a double take when I see like the younger Hanks because he looks exactly like his son Colin. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
At first, I was like, they don't really look that much alike, but I guess
they
as he's
do. Yeah,
yeah. Plus,
they do. Even like their mannerisms, especially like, well, like Colin's like he's older now, but like when he first started versus when Hanks first started, they had like that same energy. You know,
yep, I love it.
you know.
And when they speak high, when they kind of yell, they have the same
Mhm,
exact yell.
mhm, mhm.
It's great. Though I have yet to see, other than Orange County, I haven't seen a Colin Hanks movie that I've like
That's the one that he's really known for. He plays bits parts here and there.
He's a big TV star now.
Yeah. He does a lot of documentaries too. He directed and produced a documentary on Tower Records and yeah, it's big into music.
Nice. Oh, and this child actor was in Wes Craven's New Nightmare and a bunch of other stuff in the 90s. I think Kindergarten Cop. I might be mistaking him for a different child actor who looks similar. But yeah, this is prime Hanks right here. You know, it's like, I think I've definitely mentioned this before, but A League of Their Own, I consider his bridge, from comedy to drama. He really, because before A League of Their Own in 1992, he was primarily a comedic actor. But as of 93, he did Philadelphia, which is as serious as it gets. So that's why I consider A League of Their Own like the turning point. The moment.
Yeah. It's still a funny movie. Like, but I could see it, like, compared to like Money Pit, like it's not. But like, there's no crying in baseball. That's like a hilarious line. Like, that's a very quotable line.
Classic. He's got another classic line in this. Houston, we have a problem.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, A League of Their Own, that's a classic.
Yeah. Haven't watched that in a long time. That used to be on HBO all the time.
Yeah.
Is this one of your favorite astronaut movies?
Oh yeah. I don't really know many except for The Right Stuff and The Regrettable Armageddon. But this is, I'd say hands down is my favorite astronaut movie.
Wow.
How about you?
It's funny. I was looking through my Blu-ray collection. I didn't realize I had so many astronaut movies. I have like The Martian, Gravity, First Man.
That was awesome.
Ryan.
That was really good.
That was an awesome movie. That I felt like did not get its due justice. Like, people don't really talk much about it, but I love that movie.
The sound design is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Ryan Gosling fan, but I think he did an okay job.
He's I like him quite a bit. He's becoming one of those actors where like I would see anything that he's in.
All right.
Yeah. Like, I really enjoy him in, not to derail from this commentary, but like Crazy Stupid Love, I felt like was a good turning point for him.
Yeah. He kind of like matured in that one.
Yeah, he was like funny, but also like very sensitive too and dramatic. He had a good range in that movie for sure. But like I love him in like Drive and Only God Forgives and played some good stuff.
Notebook wasn't bad. A little melodramatic.
Yeah, a little melodramatic, but it's a classic,
Yeah.
Who hasn't, tried to do some scenes from The Notebook?
Yeah. Oh, look at those suits look so cool. Very nice. Sinise is pretty short, I just realized. He's got to be 5'8", maybe shorter. I don't know. I obsess over actors' heights. I don't know why. I don't know.
Or what? Tom Cruise is notoriously short, right?
Yeah, I think he's like 5'6", 7
Mm.
with boots on. Great pacing, just and the
Mm-hmm.
ending. It really flows well.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
The time doesn't bother you.
The runtime,
Yeah,
it works for this type of movie.
I think so too.
I mean, sure, I said this about Castaway the other night. Maybe it could be like 20, half an hour shorter, just tighter.
Mm-hmm.
All about tightening movies,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe there's a couple scenes when they're just in the space capsule that could
Mm-hmm.
have been shaved down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not against it.
Yeah.
It's no Snyder cut.
I've yet to see that. I
I,
want to. Oh.
I mean, I'll wait until you see it so we can
The only thing I want is I want to see more Joker.
yeah.
But
Well,
I don't mind long run times, especially nowadays. Like you want to get your money's worth.
well,
It's a treat nowadays to get a new release available to us.
the best thing about this, unfortunately, we are in this time right now, but
Mhm.
to have a new release on your TV and to be able to pause it because you have to go to the bathroom,
Mhm.
that's a huge luxury that
Yeah,
I
sure.
probably sound like an 80-year-old man right now, but
A little bit.
you know, but
I
it's
hear you.
not,
Yeah.
you just press pause and you could just do something else, whatever,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
get back to it later. Well, maybe there was something about that, that sense of urgency, like, or just seeing a movie all the way through with no interruption that really like adds to the experience of being at the movies.
Yeah.
So that's something that, yeah, I guess I sort of miss too. So I'm kind of torn.
That for me, like that's what I miss. Like the uninterrupted, you're just absorbed in the screen, absorbed in the sound.
Yeah.
Um, you know, luckily I have a TV mounted to the wall, but I can't imagine younger generations, I'm sounding like an 80-year-old man do that.
Let it out, man.
Watching,
This is the time.
I just don't understand like watching on your phone. Like
Oh, it's the
I don't
worst.
get that.
I mean, I only do that if I like absolutely have to. Like if there's something wrong with my Wi-Fi and I only get internet on my phone, then I watch
Yeah.
the movie that way. But
No.
I,
The only
I
thing I watch is on the phone is like maybe a YouTube clip.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
But
Nothing longer than like half an hour because
I think that's too much on
yeah,
it.
yeah, you
But
need.
I hear you. You gotta do what you gotta do. But at the same time, like I can't imagine watching a full length movie on a phone.
I can't even do that on my laptop. It's just
Yeah,
it's still
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. It's funny. I was
And another thing. Get
no,
off my lawn.
no. It's interesting subject you brought up. So I was actually researching big screen TVs, and
Yeah.
apparently the largest TV screen that they sell is like over 200 inches.
A screen.
Yeah,
Not a
they
okay.
call it. I forget what company it was, but they call it the wall. So that's basically a projection screen.
Yeah, if you're gonna go that route, I would just get a projector.
No.
Because if something goes wrong, if the bulb goes out or a cracked screen, that's gonna be a pretty penny.
Yeah, true.
Projectors are getting really good, so
Hmm.
they have some really good ones. I was debating on it, but I have a ceiling fan, so It was kind of hard to remount it, but
Hmm.
one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Cool. Keep the dream alive.
Yeah. Hey, maybe the rate that things are going, maybe we can take on one of these movie theaters. Maybe real estate will be very low so that we can just scoop it
Wow.
up.
Wow, that is quite an idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of related. I mean, it's sort of movie related, but our good friend of the show, Matt Roran, he just collaborated with a pickle merchant. They opened up a storefront where they sell pickles,
I
and
saw that.
they
I
sell
was totally
DVD
shocked by that. That came out of left field for me. Not to
DVD.
say that like I'm up in Matt's business, but I was like, wow,
Yeah,
a pickle store.
yeah,
That's
Pickle Island.
uh-huh.
And aside from pickles, they sell DVDs, Blu-rays, and comic books. So, and they have a wonderful Pac-Man table, so you could play. So, yeah, check out Pickle Island in Long Island.
That's cool. That
Yeah,
is cool.
I like that.
So he's selling Blu-rays and
Yeah,
comic
I
books.
think he's either selling or renting them out. I think he's selling, but either way, it's a great environment.
That's
Very
cool.
cool people.
Wow,
So
that is really cool. Where in Long Island?
I forget where, but yeah, just Pickle Island, folks.
I would once this mess is over, I would love to
Mhm.
pop over there. We should do it. We should do a show there.
Oh my God, yes. We'll talk. We'll talk to Matt. We'll
No,
set something up.
no.
Okay, we're getting close to the launch. It's the night before, and sort of timely, but not really. But right now they're quarantining. They're social distancing from their families, so they don't get any germs or infections and get
Mhm.
sick while they're on the way to the moon.
They were ahead of its time.
Hmm.
Quarantining.
Yeah. Did they know?
I,
Did NASA know all along? No.
I knew. I knew it.
Hmm. So imagine if it was Meg Ryan, and just, I think that could have worked.
As the wife.
Yeah. Which is weird because he had great chemistry with Helen Hunt in Castaway, and
Yeah.
it's a shame that they didn't make any other movies after that.
Yeah. I think you don't want to be typecast to like another
Yeah,
Meg Ryan,
kind of like
relationship.
Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
They did a bunch of movies together.
Yeah.
They were together, I think, in real life.
They were. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Surprised he hasn't like done a feature with Rita Wilson.
Hmm.
They must have. They must have done some acting
Well,
together.
believe they were in Volunteers together. 1985.
Hmm.
I don't know if they were romantic. They had a romantic relationship in that, but I think that's where they met.
Yeah. Sure. That's where. That's where it. Well, I think Rita is his second wife. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Colin Hanks with his wife before Rita.
Hmm.
And this scene actually did happen in real life. The real Marilyn Lovell, her ring went down the drain, but she retrieved it.
Yeah.
She caught it. Yeah. And here we go. Horner's music track, obviously. I think it's All Systems Ready / The Launch. And I love the suits. Again, I can't get over the attention to detail is so good.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's a great trio. You know, when I was younger, I was never really much of a Kevin Bacon fan, but I saw Tremors. I think when I was, I don't know, maybe early teens, and that's the movie that made me a fan of him.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I believe it was She's Having a Baby.
Oh, was that John Hughes?
John Hughes, yeah.
Nice. I think it's like one of the few Hughes films I haven't seen.
It's emotional. It's
Hmm.
emotional. I remember feeling that emotion and not really understanding it as a kid, you know. But it was good. It was a good movie.
What was the plot, real quick? Premise.
She's having a baby.
Oh,
It's basically
the title.
it seems kind of dry now, but like it's about a younger couple for that time, and you know they settle down and having a baby, and like it's
Oh.
kind of in his point of view, almost like not wet feet, but like just like the anxiety of becoming a new father,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden you find out that she has a complicated birth. You know that she's having a breech baby, so uh, they might lose the baby. She might lose her life. So it was very traumatic, you know, towards the end.
Okay.
Um,
Huh.
yeah,
That's-
yeah, funny up to like the end where it was like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen?
Gotcha. I'll check it out. I'll add it to the list.
Hmm. Not my favorite John Hughes, but definitely
Here-
something to watch.
Here's one of my favorite moments. Look, where he shakes his hand and he looks at him. Yes. It's like, thank you. You are protecting me. You are preparing me for danger, and I trust you with my life. I just love that look he gives him.
Hmm.
Anyway, sorry.
No, no, it makes for good commentary.
Yes. How good is this score? I mean, come on.
It's it definitely grounds you in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I guess it is a little over the top, but it works
It
beautifully.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really complaining. I mean, you could see like why this movie was nominated for Best Picture because all of the elements fit. You know, everything works out. Everything
Hmm.
like I don't know, it's just so well made.
Hmm.
And I would consider this Ron Howard's best film. You
I
know,
would I would
or definitely
agree
top
with that. Yeah, it's definitely up there. I would agree that it's his best. Yeah.
I mean, I love Willow.
Yeah.
That's a great one too.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other. We mentioned Splash. That was pretty good. I wouldn't call that one of his best though.
No.
Uh,
No.
Parenthood, I have like a weird relationship with because I've seen it like I think I saw it once. I've seen it on TV, bits and pieces here and there when I was a kid,
Hmm.
but I've never actually fully like gone in and just sat down and just watched the whole thing.
Hmm.
And like really taking it in. But that was Steve Martin and I believe the same writers of Splash, Lau Gantz and Babaloo Mandel. They did
Hmm.
Parenthood. They're probably best known for City Slickers 1 and 2,
Hmm.
and they really write comedy brilliantly, like really funny, quirky characters.
Hmm.
So yeah, Parenthood is I'm gonna have to revisit that and The Paper.
The Paper. Which
That's a
one's that about?
That was Ron Howard, 1994. Did that right before this, and basically It's about Michael Keaton and Glenn Close, Randy Quaid. They work in a newspaper,
Okay.
and I think it's Manhattan, and it's basically just like there's like some important story that breaks, and they all cover it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a drama, a human
Okay.
drama.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Here's the launch, which whenever I test out a new sound system, this is the scene I play, among others. Because it's the music, it's the sound effects, it's the visuals, it's everything. It's all great.
Yeah.
Even when I hear this track, I always think of this scene, of course.
That's a good one to test that sound system. Yeah.
Yeah, or even a big screen TV.
Mm-hmm.
So good for 1995.
Mm-hmm.
It was nominated for Best Visual Effects too. Hmm. 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 I guess I could have seen Costner in this.
Yeah. Totally.
You know.
Totally. Like I'm sure like there were a lot of roles that they were up against each other. They have that
Huh.
Americana safe guy,
Yeah.
everyman,
Hero.
hero. Yeah.
But I think Costner is more of the action hero. With like
Yeah.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Waterworld, Postman.
Yeah.
Um,
True. And I also think that Tom Hanks has better range. I think he's a
yeah,
better actor. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Costner's kind of a one-note actor, unfortunately. Even in Man of Steel, he was like basically the same exact character as Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Farmer, all-American farmer.
Yeah. I really liked him in Mr. Brooks.
I think I saw that he plays like a
He just
hitman in that.
No, he was a serial killer.
Oh, Cyril, right? That's what. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But like I was shocked that he took that role.
Hmm.
Just because it's such not his cup of tea usually.
That-
So like I really like respected that a little bit.
See, that's what a good actor does.
Yeah.
Challenges themselves.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he needs to do like a quirky comedy, like where he's kind of like an oddball, kind of like a recluse, maybe. I don't know.
Who, Costner?
Costner, yeah,
He should. You said, or you're asking if he did?
he should. If he, I don't think he has.
I don't think he's done comedy like that, like straight genre comedy.
Yeah, I think the closest we got was Tin Cup and
Right.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Oh, and so Gary Sinise, interesting. My father in the '90s saw Gary Sinise on Broadway play. Off topic, but he was in a stage version of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Mm.
and he played the role, the Jack Nicholson role.
Mm.
And he said he wasn't nearly as good as Nicholson.
Sure.
He was
Yeah.
basically just doing like an impression of him.
No.
So,
Yeah.
but he's still a very good actor.
Yeah. But you can't touch Nicholson.
Another Ron Howard film came out, I think, a year or two after this. Ransom, also with Niece.
Mel
And,
Gibson, right?
yep, give me back my son.
Yeah.
Sinise was terrifying in that.
Yeah. I forgot that was Ron Howard.
Yeah. Hmm. So you know, the cars, the clothes, it just looks like 1970. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's some more trivia. So Clint Howard is in this. He plays one of the mission control guys. And in addition to Clint Howard, several other members of Ron Howard's family appear in the movie. Rance Howard, his father, appears as a minister towards the end of the film. Jean Spiegel Howard, his mother, appears as Lovell's mother later on in the film as well. Cheryl Howard, Ron Howard's wife, and Bryce Dallas Howard appear. That's his daughter. If everyone did not know, they appear as uncredited background performers in the scene where the astronauts wave goodbye to the families.
Wow.
So yeah,
And
a very
he,
young Bryce Howard.
he puts his brother in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah, Clint.
Clint.
He had a very funny scene in Splash. Hanks like goes off on him.
Yeah.
She left me. All right, you want your money back? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and another random trivia: Brad Pitt was offered a role in the film, but turned it down to do Seven.
Huh. Which role?
Does not say, but I'm assuming Kevin Bacon's role.
Wow.
Jack Swigert, I think. It doesn't say.
Wow.
That would have been kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that would have changed his career that much.
No.
Like they're both like leading roles, so.
Yeah.
But Seven was more his movie, whereas I think if he took it this role, he would be undershadowed by Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Around this time, Brad Pitt was like the hottest guy in Hollywood, you know.
Mm.
So he would have probably overshadowed everybody. But it was weird. He did a movie with Harrison Ford, and they seemed like they were like neck and neck, you know. So that was good.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, Ford is older, so that would, I guess, make him more of the leading man in that movie. I don't know. Seniority, you know.
Mm.
But
It's usually how it works. Yeah.
yeah. What was it? What was it? I forget the name of that one. Came out like in '97. The Devil's Own, 1997.
Devil's Own. Yeah.
Oh, and Ed Harris was nominated for an Oscar as well, but lost to, do you know who?
For supporting role?
Mm-hmm.
For supporting actor?
Yep.
Who?
1995, Kevin Spacey, Usual Suspects.
Oh.
Both great performances, so
Mhm.
that was a tough call.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the early movies where they use visual effects to like tell the story or at least move it along a bit.
Mhm.
A movie like this, if it were made today, would be like almost too reliant on or dependent on visual
Right.
effects, you know, like Gravity comes to mind.
Right.
I mean, that's a very good movie, but I think from what I remember is a few years ago that I think the visual effects kind of overpowered the actors even.
Right.
But
Yeah. It
I
was a feat in its own right for being a visual and an audio spectacle, but the plot was not as expansive as something like this. So yeah.
yeah, I think what makes this so extraordinary and interesting is that the plot it actually happened. Like this is based on
Yeah.
true events, so that's what makes
Right.
it more like it's like damn, this is real.
Right.
So it feels more genuine
Right.
and therefore more entertaining.
Yeah. No, I love that you said that about the visual effects. You do get a sense that it is the visual effects are setting the environment, it's driving the plot along,
Mm.
and it's not in the forefront. I mean, it's there and it's part of the movie, of course, but
Mm.
it's not as obnoxious as like a lot of CGI today. So that's I'm not sure if that was. I'm sure like there was still a lot of technical constraints in 1995. You know, like
Mm.
CGI did not look very realistic, and it was very expensive.
Hmm.
But you know, there were other movies where they wanted to kind of test it out because it was the new thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's an interesting thing to think about, and like when you're actually going back to older films like this and just
Mm-hmm.
analyze that aspect of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did well, we did it a while ago, but it was just posted on the YouTube channel. We did True Lies, which
Mm.
I think the last scene with the Harrier jet,
Mm-hmm.
that was great. That looked so good for 1994.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't like over the top. I mean, it was over the top, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
it didn't take away from the story. It didn't like look artificial.
Right. Right.
It looked really appropriate.
Right.
So that's what I love about movies in the 90s because
Yeah.
that was a big thing,
Yeah.
not, overdoing it.
You're making me appreciate Christopher Nolan a little bit more because he's known for not using CGI, and it's quite impressive. Like if you think of Inception with the amount of like zero gravity
Hmm.
dream sequences that he has, and
Hmm.
yet it's all practical. Same thing with Interstellar. You know, there was no
Yeah.
CGI, and to think of like the dimensions and and the size and the ratio of Matthew McConaughey and some of the scenes, like it's hard to think that that could be done without using CGI.
Yeah. And you would think it's more expensive to do it practically as opposed to computerized.
I don't know. I
It's
don't know.
it's
Like
weird.
I would think it's still more. Things have certainly gotten cheaper from a technology standpoint
Hmm.
nowadays, but like I'm just saying, like for example, just setting something on fire, I would think the cost to with fuel and powered technics doing the fire, I would think would cost less than trying to recreate that through CGI and the salaries paid to do that. But
Right, right.
who
Yeah, like
knows?
when
Who
you look
knows?
when you watch the credits for like a big blockbuster like an Avengers type movie,
Yeah,
you look at like the digital artists,
yeah. It's
like
like the
hundreds and
whole
hundreds
page.
of people. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
those are paychecks.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
It adds up.
yeah.
Because yeah, I recently watched a couple of the Marvel movies, the Captain Americas, because I'm gonna be doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Uh-huh.
a recap, and they're great movies. They're fun, but the visual effects is just all over the place, and it's a
Yeah,
bit obnoxious at times, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of superhero movies these days because it's way too much.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm not. I watched them. When we were going to movie theaters, I would watch them, but
hmm,
I don't get much satisfaction from them. You know, like it's
Hmm.
I could literally watch it, walk out of the theater, and ask like, what did I just watch? Like the plot just goes in one ear and out the other.
It's
You know,
sad.
even the visual effects, like you know, after a while, you know, it's like eh, nothing's new. You know, nothing's new. It's funny. I just not to derail from this, but I just watched the movie Nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, did you?
Not yet.
Not
I'm very intrigued though. I love
yeah,
Bob Unger.
like it's great. I'm not gonna say it's like an earth-shattering movie, but it's fun
Mm,
and it's something different for Bob Odenkirk.
yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene at the end that plays as like the big show off, and it is done
Mm,
somewhat simplistically,
mm.
and I think it's never been done before. Like the
Oh,
way that they end it, like I haven't seen that done, and I think like so that costs less money than any amount of CGI can be put together, and I think it shows that you don't need all that graphic work to really appreciate a good scene. You know?
and speaking to that, actually during the pandemic, if we have more human stories like that that focus on, what's going on in the plot rather than visual effects,
Hmm.
I mean, you can
Yeah, I mean, but
get
like,
something really well during the
yeah,
pandemic in a quarantine type situation.
yeah. But I mean, I'm not knocking them per se. I do think that's been overplayed, but there's some really cool like CGI effects, and they are employing people, so there's something to that too.
Mm,
So I don't necessarily knock it completely, but
mm.
there's just a lot, and especially during the pandemic, from like an animation standpoint, from a computer graphics standpoint, you could do that remotely, and it's still employing quite a bit of jobs. So all
Yeah.
power to that. But I've said this in the past, like I like to enjoy a really good steak, but
Mhm.
I also enjoy my hamburgers too. Like I like to have that variety. You know what I mean? So,
All right then.
you know, I don't want hamburgers all the time.
Yeah.
I'm equating a Marvel movie to hamburgers,
That's
but
actually pretty appropriate.
you know,
Okay, so now Houston, we have a problem.
yeah,
Things are a little tense.
a little bit.
We mentioned this the other night with Castaway. You can't take Tom Hanks anywhere. You can't. Like, look at the.
Can't take him to outer space. Can't take him on a plane.
You can't go on the ocean.
Can't
You
go in the ocean.
can't be He can't be Captain Phillips.
Well,
You know,
you can't go across country in a wagon.
right?
Hmm.
And the next commentary, fingers crossed, will be Joe versus Volcano, which is another instance of Hank stranded in the middle of the ocean.
There you go.
Hmm. And we haven't really talked about Ed Harris yet, but what a
Mm.
great actor. So intense and like
Yeah,
dedicated,
very composed. Yeah.
you know? The first thing, this actually might have been one of the first films I've seen him in, but he was in a movie. I think we've spoken about this before. Glenn Ross.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it to you. Like I that was on my shame list. I've never watched that before
Uh-huh.
until recently. I think you swayed me because you were talking about it so much that I was like, all right, let me watch it, and it was also like on Amazon, Prime. I'm like, I didn't realize how many actors, like really good actors, are in that movie. It's
It's
crazy.
insane. Yeah.
Um,
It's one of the best. It's my favorite cast of any
yeah,
movie.
yeah. I think that's what intrigued me. I think it's on your top 10 movies of all time.
Definitely on my top 5 even.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's funny because okay, so that was 3 years before Apollo 13, and he was in
Yeah.
that with Kevin Spacey, who he lost to
Yeah.
for a supporting actor here. So, but
I think.
Pacino, Jack
I think.
Lemmon, Alec Baldwin, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Jack Jack Lemmon was probably my favorite out of that cast.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
Lemmon was
I was
great.
actually listening to an interview with Al Pacino
Hmm.
and Robert De Niro, and actually Robert De Niro was tied to that movie at some point.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you know what role he was? They wanted him for?
Um, I think
Probably Ed Harris, maybe.
I think Ed Harrison's role, because there was a lot of back and forth between him and Al Pacino. They were talking about that because that would have been the first movie that they would have been
Untitled.
together.
Yeah.
Instead of Heat. Heat
Right.
was notorious for bringing Pacino and De Niro together.
Well, they were in Godfather 2 together, but not in the same scenes.
They're not in the same scenes. Yeah. No.
And what was that awful movie they did a couple years back?
A Righteous Kill, I
Oh,
think. Yeah.
it was so bad.
Yeah. I don't think I watched it. No.
Yeah. Oh, I
But
was so excited too, and then it's like, wow,
yeah.
this is junk.
Well, they made up for it with The Irishman.
I know you're a huge fan of that.
I understand the criticism. A lot of people think it's just a repeat of Goodfellas, which is another repeat of Casino,
Yeah.
but and people think it's too long. I loved it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like,
Yeah.
I'll watch 20 more if they're still alive doing gangster movies, doing mob movies with
Yeah.
Scorsese. Sure.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It was satisfying. I remember 10 years ago getting reading an article about The Irishman and how it's going to be in production. It's
Huh.
been in pr- it's been in production, like in standby by since they actually started production, for a long time.
Hmm.
And I remember being so excited, and then I remember nothing happening, and then all of a sudden you hear like, oh, like Netflix is going to take it on. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. It
Well,
didn't disappoint.
it was like
I yeah, I own it actually. I got the Criterion version.
cool. Is it? It's 3 hours, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's long. It's long.
I remember liking the de-aging technology. That was kind of cool.
In all honesty, moments were okay. Other like the older they got, I think it was better. I did not believe that like a 30-year-old De Niro, like I did not, when I was looking at him, like that doesn't look quite right.
Hmm.
But like Pesci as like a 50-year-old, I forgot that they used de-aging. Like, 'cause
Hmm.
Pesci's in his 70s, almost 80
Yeah.
now. So like, I forgot that like they used it for that length of time.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think Al Pacino was great in that. Like, it
Yeah.
was nice to see him act like that again because he hasn't been really doing much.
Yeah. Well, he's sort of semi-retired, I think. He's just it's
Oh,
kind
he does a lot of theater.
okay.
Yeah.
It's so for Tenet, back to Christopher Nolan, I actually was rewatching a bunch of Nolan films, one of which was Insomnia.
Hmm.
Wasn't bad actually. I mean, it had some flaws, but it was
Yeah.
actually pretty entertaining.
I have to rewatch that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of that.
Pacino was like in good, like kind of almost action form, like action hero-ish, you know. And
Yeah.
Robin Williams was a pretty frightening villain.
Yeah, I have to rewatch that.
Yeah. That and Memento. I did like a double feature.
Yeah. Memento's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memento, that was like the movie where when I knew I wanted to get more into understanding the craft of film, like I just basically watched all of AFI top 100s, and that was one of them. And I was like, oh my god, how did I not see this sooner?
That's a good idea. I really respect their lists. They're very,
yeah,
they're great, very diverse.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
When I used to live in Albany, in Schenectady, not too far from Albany, they have this great vaudeville theater called Proctor's, and they made a more state of the art GE theater tied to that. And one year, I was like a pig in shit. It was so good because they did this thing with AFI where for a whole year you would buy a pass. It was $100, but you can just go. They would do the AFI 100, and like a weekend they would just show like an old movie that was on the AFI, and you could go any weekend, anytime that they were playing it. Just flash your pass.
Nice.
You could watch all these. So I watched like what did I watch? The Deer Hunter. I remember watching like Easy Rider. Like just Casablanca. Just like to watch that in the big screen, like it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So wait, this was a deal that the AFI had with that theater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
That's awesome.
They did it for, I think they did it like all in all, it lasted like 2 years to do all of, it would have 52 weekends minus holidays. You would think, to get through 100 movies, like I think it lasted 2 years. And yeah, there were times where like I would look at Kathy and I was like, yeah, you want to go see this movie? Like we haven't watched this at all. And they were movies that I kind of held back on to watch so I could watch it in the big screen. Like for the longest time, I held off in watching 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
And like so, and then they were playing it, so I was like, now is my chance to see it on the big screen. Yeah.
Now with 2001, I have a weird relationship with that movie. Obviously, it's a classic. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful big screen movie. I actually went to the exhibit for it. They had a 2001 like retrospective at the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, Astoria, Queens. And, every time I watched that movie, even when I went to the special screening for it, I fell asleep. Because it's a very quiet film, and it
is
beautiful classical music, very slow moving. I love the movie, but I kind of also love falling asleep to it too. Like, so it's a weird thing, but it's obviously it's a classic. It's a great film.
Yeah. It's one of those films. I guess we're tying it back because it's an astronaut movie, right?
There you go. Yeah.
It's one of those, like, if you're studying screenwriting, like they always bring that up. They always bring that up, rightfully so.
Yeah. Could definitely do that for a bunch of Kubrick films.
Yeah. I hope when things get back to normal, they do that again. That would be cool. That would be cool to go. We would have to go. We would have to go up to Schenectady to go see it. Yeah.
Do it. I still want to go to Puxatawny with you.
Yes. Yes. It's a good time. It's a good time.
What's the name of the town?
Woodstock.
That's upstate.
No. There is a Woodstock upstate, but there's a Woodstock, Illinois too.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, man. Let's do it.
It was fun. Another tie into this. So Tom Hanks was initially meant to play the Bill Murray character in Groundhog Day. He didn't want to though because he thought he was too much of a jerk. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I don't know. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's pretty great in it.
Yeah.
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 And
I know
another.
you don't. See, I know that you don't love that movie as much as I do.
Yeah, I do love it, but you take it to a new level.
I do love that movie. It's so.
It's great.
Great.
It's awesome.
It is.
What I think there we did last in 2020 with the Ghostbusters, we did a little trip to the Nighthawk in Prospect Park.
Mm-hmm.
We saw an afternoon screening of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think, one of the last movies I saw in a theater.
Yeah. That I saw Groundhog's Day in the theater that's referenced in the movie Groundhog's Day.
Oh, where he's dressed as a cowboy.
Yeah. It's called it's really called the Alpine Theater. And you know, if you go during Groundhog's Day, they make a big event out of it, and they do like you get to see all the spots, like you know, like the puddle that he trips over. You know, it's called Ned. Yeah, like I did that. Like you would go over that, and like it's called Ned's puddle. Yeah, you go to like the Elks Lodge, and you can dance there. And stuff
Is that
like
the same? Is that the same like location?
Yeah, everything is literally in this square.
That's
awesome. Literally, it's pretty wild to see.
It's called Knob Square, right? Knob.
No, in real life, no. It's called the it's just called the town square.
Okay.
They just made it up, and there's this ongoing joke if you go to Woodstock that like during the making of the film, they took down any signage of Woodstock that they could find, except for one scene. You see like Woodstock Jewelers in the movie. So, like they always mention that.
That's awesome.
We should do a commentary. I would be more fitting for a commentary on Groundhog Day.
All right. I will think about it.
Yeah.
In the near future. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But back to Apollo 13.
Yes.
So, yeah. Right now, they're kind of feeling a little hopeless.
Yes.
And the desperation at Mission Control. Oh, this is a great scene. Gene Kranz.
I could see Brad Pitt in the Kevin Bacon role.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were in Sleepers together, actually.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a great movie. Very depressing, but really good. Do you know the origin of the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game? Like what was the thing that made people realize, oh, this is a thing now?
I think it's funny. I was watching. I listened to like a lot of like YouTube interviews and stuff, and there was a round table for I think Vanity Fair with Kevin Bacon and a bunch of other actors, and he was talking about 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon because it really like it was really like a bad point in his life. Like he was really concerned about his career. Because he didn't want to be made fun of. Like he didn't want to be like part of this schlock. Yeah, so he was really concerned that this game would like be his demise as an actor. So he really like kind of hunted it down, and it just started in like a college bar. Like it just took on, and like it became a thing. Like it came to a point where like Kevin Bacon was trying to make a board game out of it. So that he can make some money off of like this hokey joke, in his life. But yeah.
Wow.
Mm,
That sounds appropriate.
yeah,
That's kind of how Tom Hanks Day started.
yeah,
Uh, I think in some guy's dorm room,
yeah,
and then it kind of evolved into an annual bar event,
yeah.
and that was a number of years ago, and here we are now.
How did you catch wind of Tom Hanks Day?
um, hmm, I honestly don't know. I think I just came across it on Facebook. I saw that it was a thing, and I was like, oh my god, and my head exploded, and then I just reached out to them and tried to get involved. And I'm, this year I just did my own thing with Zoom, and we did Money Pit, we did Castaway, we're doing this now, and after this, hopefully, we'll do Joe versus Volcano and finish things off with the Burbs. So yeah, I kind of want to do a League of Their Own too, but I don't think there'll
That's
be
all.
enough. It's a
There's
lot,
not enough days for
huh?
in April. There's not enough days in April.
Right. I know. We'll have to extend it to Tom Hanks' year.
Yeah,
It's Year of the Hanks.
Year of the Hanks. He would love
Yeah. And I could be mistaken, but I think their suits glow in the dark.
that.
Or
You
is
were
it?
obsessing over those suits.
I am. I love it. I love the detail. And so they had a few technical advisors on the movie, some of the actual mission control guys
Hmm.
from the 70s. And
Hmm.
they one of them was in the set, and he was leaving, and he wanted to go to the bathroom, and he like made a right, but there was no bathroom there because he remembered that the bathroom was on the right. He thought he was in the actual mission control. He didn't he forgot he was on set. So that's how great the sets and the attention to detail were,
Yeah, sure.
you know. And side note with Kathleen Quinlan, one of her earlier roles was she was in a segment in the Twilight Zone movie in 1983,
Mm.
directed by Joe Dante. Side note. Yeah, when we did Castaway, we talked a lot about Twister because Helen Hunt's in that, and of course Bill Paxton's in that too.
Hmm.
Oh, it's like it's all connected,
Hmm.
that group of
I'm
90.
sure. That's how a lot of movies and parts are being tossed around.
Mhm.
Like, oh, like, this guy's doing this, this is doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I was going back to that De Niro and Pacino role. Like,
Mm.
uh, Scorsese was tied to do Scarface at one point,
Ooh.
but he didn't. He he just felt like he didn't want to do it. But
Mm.
so Pacino wanted the role. De Niro wanted that role too, but he's like, "Hey, if Pacino wanted, that's fine." But like, De Niro just said it. Like they were asking, like, "Oh, like what director should we have?" And like,
Mm.
De Niro was like, "Oh, Brian De Palma would be good." It's like that's how it kind of initiated. Like just here, and like Scorsese handed Palma the script, and the rest is history.
Well, maybe I think that was the same year he did King of Comedy, right? Or that was maybe a little bit after.
I think that was yeah, that's after.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, but I wanted to mention earlier, is one of my favorite Scorsese films.
King of Comedy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
so offbeat and different from what he's done
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
And I love that, you know, the idea of a celebrity and that whole like sort of almost like paparazzi feel to it.
Yeah.
It was just a great genre. Like it was all these genres in one.
Yeah.
And De Niro was perfect. Jerry Lewis was great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No, great.
I just discovered it like maybe 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. No, I loved it. Like I think I saw it once I started cracking down on the craft of filmmaking. But yeah. Um and having watched Joker, like Joker, I wouldn't say is a ripoff, but definitely pays a lot of homage to
Yeah,
playing comedy for sure.
definitely. Well, speaking of Joker and Joaquin Phoenix and Oscars, I just want to get into. Are you looking forward to the telecast on the 25th?
I haven't really paid much mind to it, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll watch it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be an interesting year in terms of how they're going to handle everything, the ceremony and the
Yeah.
presenters.
I feel like there's a lot of people in the obituary memorial.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Chadwick Boseman's going to win a posthumous Oscar,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Even though he Anthony Hopkins might steal it as he might get it himself because The Father was phenomenal. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, I thought you were hinting that Anthony Hopkins was dead or something. I was like,
No,
what?
no, sorry. I'm just
No, I have to watch The Father.
I'm
I have to watch that because yeah, I have to bring myself up to it. I have some I have some personal ties to Alzheimer's disease, and
yeah.
my grandmother, who I was very close to, passed away from complications of and she lived with us during the time that she was diagnosed to her
Mm.
end, and I'm curious to see how spot on they portray it.
They
But because
definitely,
I've seen the trailer,
yeah.
and he was freaking spot on from the minutes that I saw him do it. So I'm like, oh, I would love to see it, but I have to kind of like get myself in the mental capacity.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I'm sorry to hear about that. About that.
Yeah, no, that's we're talking about when I was a kid, but
Mm,
it's a horrible disease.
yeah.
Horrible, horrible disease.
Well, when you do get around to it, it's powerful.
Yeah,
It's great.
get the Kleenex.
Yeah, there's some moments. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the. I love award shows, as you know.
yeah. And
So
this is the second. I mean, obviously, with the pandemic happening last year, but this is the second year they're doing the telecast, right?
yeah, I forget how they did it last year. I think yeah, we were in the pandemic already, so things were a little strange. So, but I think by now they've kind of like controlled everything and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll
Because
see.
last year was unexpected for them, so they were like probably scrambling.
Yeah, it was weird. But I have a good feeling about Mank winning Best Picture. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love the history of Hollywood. I know you're the same
yeah,
way. So
yeah. No, I can definitely see it winning.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it winning.
because it's got even though it's like
It's
it's a
just it's such a shoe in, it's such a blatant Oscar baiting move. If it wins, like
but I
it's
love
like we love you, Hollywood. Please give us an Oscar.
I know.
But it's great. No, I loved it. I mean, I think we did the top 10, and that was in both. That was your one, right?
That was my one. Number one.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
And Rachel's Promising Young Woman. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know what that might win maybe the best screenplay, I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
iffy. It's iffy.
I haven't watched it yet, but
Okay.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
a strange one. It's very good though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think probably Midnight Sky is gonna win, like
Mhm.
visual effects or cinematography or something
I
like
know
that.
you mentioned that movie a few times. It was good. You know,
Yeah,
it didn't blow me away. I'll be honest with you.
yeah. No,
Uh,
I think I liked it more than you.
yeah.
It blew me away, I
Was
think.
that Soderbergh or was
No,
that
that was Clooney.
he
Clooney.
directed that as well? Okay.
Yeah.
I just associate him and Soderbergh. That's
Mm-hmm.
oh,
He
you
did
know what?
enough of his movies.
I might give it another try,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see. We'll see.
But going back to our discussion before,
Hmm.
Midnight Sky uh, would have done better and get more acknowledgement if it was seen in a big theater. You know,
I can
I
see
think
that.
it lost you because you didn't watch it in a theater.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, it's funny. Yeah, another film that came out right before the pandemic called Arctic,
Mm.
starring Mads Mikkelsen, which
Oh,
was,
Mads Mikkelsen,
yeah,
awesome.
he played, I forget how it happens, but he ends up in the middle of the Arctic and he has to struggle to survive. He finds like this crashed plane. I think it was the one he was in. So he makes a shelter in this plane that's destroyed, and you know he's barely surviving. He's got like canned goods, food like
Hmm.
soup, and that was pretty good. I went to a red carpet for that, and
Cool.
yeah, it was very good movie. That was overlooked. It
Mm.
definitely Midnight Sky definitely reminded me of that, and also
Mm.
like, Alive, and I'm sure there's a few other like cold settings,
Mm.
survival dramas.
Mm.
But
Yeah, just you describing it reminded me of like the Liam Neeson film The Gray.
is that where he fights the wolves with the he puts like broken glass on his gloves, and
Yeah, to resemble Claws. It was a great movie. I
yeah,
really enjoyed it. Yeah,
that was intense at times. I
you
remember
know, I
that was
remember. I think I have this gift where I recall the theaters that I were in, like when you mentioned the movie, and I remember watching The Gray in the theater, and that's when Whitney Houston died.
Hmm.
Because like the day that she died, we were watching it, and like everyone in the theaters, like cell phones were blowing up. We're like, oh my god, you know?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's intense.
Hmm.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've never had an experience like that during a movie.
Yeah. I had twice. It
Yeah.
seemed like that, and not in a movie theater, but I was in a live concert,
Hmm.
and that's when Michael Jackson died, and
Hmm.
they like people like that was nuts because it was a musical event, and people were like, "Oh my god!" Like, and to the point where someone came on and made an announcement like during a set change,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh my god," you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really had a moment like that. Um, I mean, I do remember when John Ritter passed away.
Hmm.
That was actually September 11th, 2003.
Hmm.
I was in college and I just heard about it. And I was just like heartbroken, like, oh my God,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, I just thought of Stay Tuned. And
Hmm.
so uh, that hit me
Hmm.
kind of hard. But some good news when it comes to like notifications like that. 2008, when Obama was elected president,
Hmm.
I was in the subway, you know, heading up. So there was reception, and I was walking by this girl, and she's on the phone, and she's like, "He won," and and then I knew,
Hmm.
yes, we can. But
That's funny.
yeah,
Yeah, well, now I'm recalling when Trump won. And
God.
I remember going to bed that night and just like looking at like the news and just like looking at the map, and it was like all red, like the whole U.S. was red. I'm like,
Mm.
I remember going to bed. I remember being tired. I'm like, I remember saying to myself like, that can't be good.
No,
But
it can't.
I'm like, but there was still like, I still was like hopeful. I'm like, but that guy, he can't become president. He just can't. I'm like, but I remember looking at like this map of red and being like, that can't be good. That's like, I remember like thinking like, am I looking at like a Republican map? Like, do I have like a filter turned off where I don't see any blue? And then next morning, next
That's
morning I got a push notification. I was like, oh, here we go.
that's a horrible way to go to sleep.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now our three astronauts are basically freezing and losing oxygen. And that
Sorry.
and
I'm not laughing at that.
what?
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at like circling it back in. Gotta rein it back in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a commentary.
I
Like that?
like it. You should coin that. Yeah.
I know. I'm going to go to the patent office this week.
Mhm. The Paxton office.
Ah, nice. Nice. I'm going to make some bacon. Mm.
Let's see, is there any trivia?
All right, let's see what we got. Okay, in 1996, asteroid 1996 GU8 was named 12818 Tom Hanks in honor of Tom Hanks' portrayal of Jim Lovell in the movie. Okay. Named number 12 as most inspirational movie by the AFI in 2006. And back to the spacesuits, they cost $30,000 a piece.
Wow.
And there was a big thing. Ron Howard actually arranged for them to fly in a NASA plane, which had zero gravity, so they can prepare for the weightlessness of space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hmm. And Ron Howard referred to the stars as astronauts.
I was just reading that, yep.
Yeah. Astronauts.
Astronauts. John Cusack and Charlie Sheen were offered the role of Bill Paxton's character.
John Cusack and who?
Charlie Sheen.
John Cusack would have been interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, these are all great actors, but could definitely plug and play other characters into these roles.
I think Charlie Sheen would have been too sarcastic.
Yeah, but during this time, he was kind of subdued compared to the tiger blood, cocaine fueled
Winning.
the winning guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it, like 2009, 10 or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That was he was so popular during that brief time.
Oh, of the
The
spiral.
yeah, it was just. I think that was like the last few seasons or the last season of 2.5 Men. He kind of just lost his mind a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's what drugs do to you.
Yeah, I really wish. I mean, Emilio Estevez, he never really made it huge. He's obviously popular, but I think he could have gone further.
Oh yeah,
I always
yeah.
And I'm gonna be reviewing Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing him back on the ice. Should be good.
That's right, he's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, reprising his role from the movies.
I enjoyed his role in Mission Impossible 1.
Oh, yeah. Right.
He played the techie.
He's in it for like 13 minutes, and
Yeah.
I don't want to give that spoiler away, even though it's a 25-year-old movie. But yeah, I wanted more of him in that.
Yeah. What was the phrase that he used? Hasta lasagna?
What?
Yeah, I'll look it up. Wait 1 second. He was referring to the explosion that happens when you mix the blue and the green and the red side of the gum. If you mix it.
Wait, is that Emilio in Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
I just remember him in that elevator shaft. That's the only, That's a strange movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Hasta lasagna, don't get any on you. That's what he said. Yeah, that's another Brian De Palma movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a great sequence on the train, the final battle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Him and John Voight on that bullet train.
Mm-hmm.
That was some great visual effects. 1996.
Mm-hmm.
That was done by Industrial Light and Magic, ILM.
Mm-hmm.
So that's And back to Emilio. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. Awesome.
Oh, he did do yeah, that's right. He did do Lampoons.
He was
I thought Charlie Sheen was the one that did the Hot Shots movies, and
apparently not.
I love those movies.
Yeah. Part 2.
Part 2. I was big into like the Naked Gun movie.
Yep. Anything with Leslie Nielsen around that time.
Yeah. I feel like it's funny because I loved watching his stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was right up there with like Jim Carrey for me. And I feel like he doesn't come up, like nostalgia is pretty big, especially for our age group and stuff, but Leslie Nielsen doesn't really come up that much. And
I mean,
surprised, but he was the guy for me, like one of the guys. And like watching his stuff, he's just so funny.
I mean, what he's best known for is probably Airplane.
Yeah.
In addition to the Naked Guns.
But like there's just some great lines that like I love the line from the Naked Gun where like he breaks up with his girlfriend and out of defiance he's like, I faked every orgasm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen it, but he probably said in like a deadpan face, like
yeah, exactly.
That's great.
He was good. He was good timing.
Yeah.
Never really lost his edge even as he got older.
Well, you know what? There was a weird role of his. He was actually in the first Creep Show.
Oh yeah.
He was in one of the segments where he played like this homicidal maniac, like this psychotic guy, um, who's, I think, woman he's involved with is hooking up with Ted Danson, so he wants to get revenge by killing both of them, and they become zombies and later on stalk Leslie Nielsen's character. It was a very good segment.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I
dark,
have
funny.
I have not watched Creepshow.
Oh man, Creepshow 1 and 2, so good.
Yeah.
Quintessential 80s horror.
Yeah.
I think they're both done, or the first
Is
one.
it's vignette style, like
Yeah,
almost like a Twilight Zone?
something like that, or like Tales from the Dark Side, or
Crypt. Yeah.
Tales from the Dark Side, or even Twilight Zone the movie.
Yeah.
So in the
Yeah.
80s, they do those anthologies.
Yeah.
I love it.
I loved Tales from the Crypt growing up. It was always like the type of thing that I'd watch like this.
Yeah.
Because like
I liked Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Apparently M. Night Shyamalan is bringing back Tales from the Crypt.
I heard that. That could be interesting.
That would be cool.
Have you seen the new Twilight Zone with I think it's Jordan Peele, right?
No, I want to though. I want to. I would love to see his version, yeah.
I'm a
But
little.
that's on NBC. That's on Peacock, right?
I don't know. Maybe. And they brought back Creep Show as well, and Are You Afraid of the Dark, which we spoke a little bit about like a month or so ago on Nostalgia Time with Kid Champagne, our fellow colleagues, Matt Haberman, and all those people.
Yeah, they're bringing back a lot of those Nickelodeon shows. They're bringing back All That.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of wish Matt Haberman was here right now because he's a huge Nickelodeon guy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to do Game Show Month, which I think is next month. And yeah, I'm giving
Little Double Dare.
yeah, Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Were you a big Nickelodeon fan?
I was, but not so much the game shows. I was more into the live action and animated stuff.
Yeah, I was a Nickelodeon kid. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Yeah, like Guts was big. But like I would go to their live events too. They would do
No.
they would put on this like obstacle course in Shea Stadium,
Oh, okay.
and me and my buddy Danny, I remember just going like my poor dad just dragged us, and like just having a grand old time.
I love it.
Yeah.
So were they modeled after the TV game shows?
Yeah. Yeah. They like man, I wish there was like a video recording because I remember it being so big in my head, but like they reenacted like the Guts obstacle course up the mountain and stuff like that, and then you would go through this big chute and slide down and stuff. And then they would have like almost like a carnival style games, like putting stuff in the ring and stuff, and but it's like Ren and Stimpy themed,
All right.
yeah,
That's fun.
yeah, or like going to Nassau Coliseum and seeing a live version of Wienerville. Yeah.
That's fun. I actually wrote a letter to Nickelodeon requesting to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple. I even told them, oh, if I could be on the Blue Barracudas, that'd be great. Please, thank you. And they said, so we can't offer you a spot on the show, but if you ever come to, I think it was Orlando or Hollywood,
Yeah.
you could participate in Game Lab, which is basically the same thing, but they don't film it.
Huh.
But I never followed up. I never went. So
Yeah. I used to write a lot to Nickelodeon. Just like I subscribe to their magazine.
yes, that was a great
Yeah. And they would send stuff back. Like I remember getting these pennants and all this stuff. They were pretty good at that. I was huge into like Doug. That was my jam.
Yep. That was a great one.
Yeah.
And how all of his friends and family members were like different colors. He was the only.
Yeah.
Well, Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh, that holds up as an adult.
Was he like what kind of creature was he?
A wallaby.
Wallaby. I haven't seen that show in like 25 years.
They just did a special on Netflix.
I'm gonna have to check it. Is it a documentary or is it the?
No. It's like it's a continuation.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like I forgot if it's. Check it out, but like it's like a feature. Yeah.
All right. I'm sure Matt has seen it already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure he has.
But this would be great to see on the big screen.
Oh yeah.
You know?
For sure.
I think it's been re-released. I think it was re-released on IMAX a couple years ago for one of the milestone years.
Yeah.
Probably the 20th. Oh, and so Ed Harris described the film as cramming for a final exam.
I'm sure there was a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
A lot of rehearsal.
And Ed Harris was actually, he played John Glenn in The Right Stuff. That was 12 years.
Yeah, there's some resemblance there,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw Ed Harris in a newer movie, Kodachrome. And I love that.
Wait,
it was such a good movie. Kodachrome?
Oh. I have not heard that.
He's basically like this artist, like this asshole type of artist, and he has an estranged son, played by Jason Sudeikis, and basically, he finds out that he's dying of cancer, and being an artist, like he wanted to go to, I think it was Utah, to get the last prints developed from Kodachrome, which is a type of film that Kodak used
I remember.
way back when.
Yeah, I think I saw it. Yeah, that's a strange premise. But I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean, they used it as a way to make it into a road trip movie. But I loved Ed Harris in that. Like he was just like a non-filtered, nothing hold back type of jerk, but in a lovable way. Like, and
perfect for him.
Ed Harris is like a chameleon.
Yeah.
He just absorbs every role that he's in.
Right. You ever see The Abyss?
Yes. Yeah, way back when. Actually, from that AFI thing that was telling me about.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that was an early role for him, 1980. But you could see, like, physically, like he devoted his entire everything about him was in that performance, because there's like scenes where he's trying to like twist the valve to like open up a hatch, and it feels like it looks like he's just actually, you know, exerting himself and
Mm.
crazy. There was actually a press conference he did in 2005 for history of violence, and somebody asked a question about. They just said, "What's so, Mr. Harris? What is the film about?" And he like starts pounding on the table, pounding, and throws a coffee mug. It's like it's about violence. That's the movie. And then they cut the press conference short. You can see it on YouTube. It's titled like Ed Harris Meltdown.
But he did it as a joke.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe he thought he was being funny, but he was like really pounding on the desk, and he threw this mug, and it's like, okay, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have uh to cancel the press conference or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was him and David Cronenberg on this panel.
I gotta check it out.
And I think Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, it was weird. Ed Harris Meltdown. It's awesome.
And that's without having known that. Like you would think that Ed Harris is like the type of guy that wouldn't have a meltdown. He seems just so calm in all his films.
I know, but there's something brewing underneath.
Hmm.
Nice little speech he's giving. I could have seen Rita Wilson in this role.
I mean, part of my another part of my shame list is now that I have HBO Max, I've been going through stuff on there, and
Hmm.
I've never gone into Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Ah,
and which I'm just surprised because that is right up my wheelhouse with comedy, and
it's
I
fantastic.
love it. Yeah, and I bring her up because she was in an episode that was just hilarious, and
You know,
she
I have not seen it on HBO Max. Are they all on there?
they're all on there. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Good to know.
Hmm. But I'm working my way up. It's fun to see like series before iPhones, and like it's crazy. It started in 1999 and it's still going on today. You
Yep.
know,
And
but it's
it's
only
so
11 seasons because they had hiatuses in between.
and every episode is even it's fresh and original every time. It's great.
It is
What season are you up to?
4. I just started 4.
Okay. Yeah, I think the last few seasons are phenomenal. I mean, the whole series as a whole is really great. But yeah, just it gets better, man.
Yeah.
It's already great. Oh, and this actor was in a movie called Mumford
Hmm.
in 1999, where he plays a psychiatrist in a small town,
Mm.
and it's about his relationship with all of his patients, and each brings a certain level of quirkiness. And I think right before or during the time of Forrest Gump, Gary Sinise was in the miniseries The Stand, based on
Hmm.
the Stephen King book,
Hmm.
which I think he was great in that. He might have been a little underused, but it was fine. he gets into it.
Mhm.
Ed Harris, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder if they have any of this stuff on display at the Smithsonian. I know they have some NASA stuff there, but I don't know. We went there last year. No, not was it last year or the year before? But we didn't go to the Air and Space Museum, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Have you been?
Yes, Smithsonian. No,
Hmm.
no, unfortunately.
That's a bucket list item.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We've done the Natural Museum of History. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And we've done,
It's not. It's. I think it's open now. Natural.
yeah, probably.
Hmm.
Um, and we've done moving images.
Yep.
We saw the Jim Henson exhibit there. That was really cool.
Nice. Did you go recently?
Right before
Hmm.
the pandemic.
That's a great place.
Yeah,
Been going there since I was a kid.
yeah.
This is a great scene. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin keeping Mrs. Lovell company. And that guy doesn't look much like the real Neil Armstrong. Then again, Hanks doesn't look much like the real Jim Lovell.
Mm.
That's why they wanted Costner. He looked more like him.
As we've seen in a lot of other biopic movies, you don't necessarily have to
Hmm.
look like the character, you know.
Yeah, true.
But it's surprising. Like I forgot until like I kind of ran through his filmography in my head that Hanks played a lot of other people, like real people,
Yeah.
in his filmography. Like he's done a lot of true stories.
So we've got Mr. Rogers, Jim Lovell.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers, Disney,
Yep, Walt Disney.
Sully,
Right.
Captain Phillips,
That's right.
Apollo 13.
Saving Private Ryan, I think, was fictional. His role was fictionalized.
Yeah. Wasn't Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah, I think so.
That
Yeah.
was um
Oh, Abernathy. What am I thinking of? Abernathy. Catch Me. Frank Abagnale was
mhm.
Caprio, and Hanks. His name was Carl Hanratty. Let's see if it was based on him, based on a real person. That was a good movie, actually. You don't hear a lot about it
It was big
at the
in the
time.
day. Yeah. It kind of put, I mean, Titanic put Leonardo DiCaprio on the map, but like that kind of like I felt like Catch Me If You Can solidified him as
Leading
a
man.
like, oh, like this guy's gonna be big. He's not just a teen heartthrob, from Titanic. Like he actually is destined to do good work.
True. He has depth.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hanks played Carl Hanratty, an FBI agent who is based on Joseph Shea. So that's the actual FBI agent. But side note with DiCaprio, I think the movie that kind of blew me away in his adulthood, basically his being a mature actor, Revolutionary Road.
Yep.
Oh my God, that movie was
that's
good.
awesome.
That really
Sam
wowed me.
Mendes, yeah.
And ever since then, I've been following his career. And when he finally got the Oscar for The Revenant, oof, well deserved, sir. Well deserved.
Sure.
Also, Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen were in Catch Me If You Can. That's awesome.
Yep.
I went to
Great
rewatch
movie.
it.
Great movie.
Yeah. And a very young Amy Adams.
Talking about Tom Hanks, a movie that I love, that he's in, Road to Perdition.
That's like the first time he played a quote unquote villain, or I guess anti-hero.
Yeah, I would say anti-hero.
Dark.
He's not really a villain. I would say Jude Law is the villain. That one.
Daniel Craig was also kind of ominous, right?
And yeah, Daniel Craig, yeah.
And now the actor who played Hank's son in that is Superman.
Yeah.
How weird is that? But yeah, that's a wonderful film.
Yeah.
Is that Sam Mendes?
Yeah, and if it wasn't for that film, you wouldn't have Sam Mendes doing Skyfall.
Yeah. That's the Daniel Craig connection there.
Yeah. I love that movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, we'll have to return for No Time to Die. Not sure if that's Mendes or not, but it's
no, that's not his. No.
Hmm.
Who is directing that one?
I know it's been delayed a bit, obvious reasons. It's directed by Kari Joji Fukunaga. I'm assuming Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, Hans Zimmer.
Way back when, like right before Sam Mendes was like tied to James Bond, there were rumors saying that Quentin Tarantino wanted to do it. That would be awesome.
Say again, who?
Quentin Tarantino.
Directing a Bond film?
Yeah, he's been put on record for saying that that's kind of one of the only properties that he would like to take on.
Interesting.
That and Star Trek.
I think I've heard the Star Trek thing before, but a Bond film by Tarantino, I can't wrap my head around that really.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we only have one more film out of Tarantino.
Wait, he's really retiring?
That's what he's saying. So he just made the 9th with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and
was Death Proof was that considered one of his films? Because it was like a short film.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done 10 already, but he considers Kill Bill 1 and 2 one film.
Okay.
Actually, he shot it together. It was supposed to be one film, but the Weinsteins said that he should cut it up and make 2 films and make more profit.
Smart.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently just one more.
What a way to go if it's a Bond film.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Let's see. So apparently, John Travolta was also offered the role, but turned it down. He was going to be Jim Lovell. I think he was doing Get Shorty.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's one of his better movies. It's a good one. It's got one of my all-time favorites, Gene Hackman.
Yeah, one of there's a couple movies that portrayed another Hollywood-based movie. You know,
Yep.
but, there's a couple of good ones that I like to watch, like that adaptation, just dealing with screenwriting. Bowfinger.
Oh man.
I love Bowfinger. I think it's hilarious.
You know, that's another one I saw when it first came out, but I wasn't like wowed by it. I don't know. I guess because Eddie Murphy was just very goofy.
Yeah,
Like
but
too goofy.
I thought I loved Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy together.
No.
They had a great chemistry. Yeah.
Oh sure. And Robert Downey Jr. has a small part in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Val Kilmer turned down the role of Jack Swigert to do the Ghost
Wow.
of the Darkness.
Who would ever think that Tom Hanks was like the bottom of the barrel for a movie?
Michael Keaton was considered for the role of Fred Hayes, Bill Paxton.
Wow.
Kathleen Quinlan was she was in American Graffiti, directed by Ron Howard. Interesting. She must have been super young.
Wait, American Graffiti. That was George Lucas, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ron Howard was in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. George Lucas directed it. Thank you, sir, for catching that.
Yeah. It's like his filmography is American. Like I forgot he did a small, like it was like his like art student project. N1H something. It was like a
THX 118.
There you go. I knew it was just a couple of numbers and letters, but basically like just a dystopian future. Robert Duvall.
Oh, I've never seen it.
I saw it way back when, like again, like when I was really like interested in learning about film. Like I made it my mission to like watch anything possible. So I remember watching that, and I didn't quite get it at the time. I personally think George Lucas is a little overrated. But my joke was just like, if you look at his filmography, it's that movie, American Graffiti, and Star Wars.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it. And then the prequels. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But would you recommend THX 118? I've never gotten around to it.
You mean for you or for?
Yeah, I'm just mildly curious.
I would watch it. I would if I'm talking to you, you should watch it. Yeah.
Okay, because it kind of reminds me. Yeah.
I'll give you this. Like, you have not seen Robert Duvall in anything like that. You know. Like
he's another interesting actor.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Ed Harris in a weird way.
Yeah, like a chameleon type of guy. Yeah, he's great in everything that he does. He's a pretty solid actor. I mean, Definitely. Godfather and pretty tamed actor.
Apocalypse.
But, which is interesting because like in that movie, he plays. I can't even describe what he plays. He plays like this dystopian, futuristic prisoner almost, and like just the pained expressions on his face. It's been a while. I've only watched it once, but I still remember like some of his facial expressions.
He's great.
Yeah.
Um, you ever see Falling Down?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just talking about it because we watched Nobody, which has some like falling down vibes to it.
Okay.
I love Falling Down. It's
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies, but it's like I loved it growing up surprisingly. Um
That's funny.
but like the fast food scene, like what I found interesting even at a younger age, like it was always positioned as like this average guy who just snaps.
Yeah.
But like if you watch the movie, you find out that he doesn't. He's mentally not there. He's like an unstable guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's not average. Like he's mentally unstable. I'm like, you know. So this Nobody, like he's more of that realm of like
Hmm.
more of your average Joe, but you find out some things. So I'm still not like the idea of like an average Joe snapping. It interests me to watch that unfold, but even Bob Odenkirk, he's not who you think he is. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I just love that. It just has that same feel, it seems, from the trailer, like
yeah,
Better Call Saul. You know,
yeah, for
just
sure.
this regular guy who kind of like goes way over his head. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
yep. It's the same choreographer, stunt choreographer, and same screenwriter as John Wick. Um,
Okay.
and
There you go.
there's some like fan requests, some fan theories that say, hey, like this could be in the same universe as John Wick,
Wow.
and that would be awesome if somehow they did a mashup of John Wick and Nobody. If Keanu Reeves and Bob Odenkirk could be in a movie together, that would be awesome.
I like that. Join forces or fight each other. I like it.
Yeah.
Now I really need to see Nobody. It's on my list.
Yeah, it's a breezy movie. It's an hour and a half long and it goes by like that.
That's good to know. And it's a new side of Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Good. I remember, I think one of his earliest things was he was on a few episodes of the Larry Sanders Show.
Oh,
You know,
he's done everything. Like he's lit like he's been always working. Like he as a guy as me who I've been diving deeper into sketch comedy. Like
mm,
he's a god in sketch comedy. He and Conan O'Brien shared an office in Saturday Night Live together,
hmm.
and like the Chris Farley sketch with the motivational speaker.
That was
I live in
Odenkirk.
a van down by the river. That's Bob Odenkirk. Like that. That's his writing.
Oh man, imagine those conversations that they had in that
Oh my
office.
god.
I love it. I love it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to him because at first I
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
really my
he's
cup of
great.
tea. But then I watched Breaking Bad. I was like, okay, and then then the spinoff, sorry, the prequel came out. I
Hmm.
recall, and I was like, you know what, this guy, he's got some good chops,
Hmm.
not just comedically but
Yeah.
dramatically.
No, he's solid.
Yeah, he was also in an episode of Seinfeld. Actually,
Yep.
he dated Elaine.
I could see that. Yeah.
He played a guy who wasn't quite yet a doctor. He keeps failing his was it not MCATs,
Yeah.
and someone in the diner is like choking. And it's like, is anyone here a doctor? It's like, come on, do something. Well, I'm not technically a doctor. So yeah, it was just a weird scene. And they made it home. And this is just a phenomenal track by Mr. James Horner.
Is this score one of your favorites?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's my favorite Horner score for sure. You know, beautiful track. And so Ed Harris, I'm looking him up now. He was nominated for an Oscar 4 times. He never won.
Really?
This was his first nomination. Then 3 years later, he was nominated for The Truman Show.
Yeah.
2 years after that for Pollock. And then 2 years after that for The Hours.
He'll get it one day.
I hope. He deserves it. This kind of makes me want to go to the Intrepid Museum. That's a fun place.
Gotta wait till when Maverick comes back in theaters.
Have a premiere.
Yeah, on the Intrepid.
It's a good idea.
Have you done that? Watch Top Gun on the Intrepid?
No, I've watched Ghostbusters. We did an
On
event.
the Intrepid?
Yeah.
Wow.
We dressed up. We went over there and kind of like interacted with the fans.
Cool.
Are you looking forward to Maverick?
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty cool. There's some really good shots.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I plugged the Blu-ray, the HD Blu-ray last year, and yeah, the film holds up. It's a decent movie. A little overrated, but it's got some good moments.
You don't like the volleyball scenes?
Not at all. Yeah, I do like the tension between Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise, though. Oh, I love these hats that they have, specially made for them. USS Iwo Jima. And I love this monologue that Hanks gives. Hmm. They're all smoking cigars. I love it. I know you're a fan.
Haven't had one in a long time. It's never really been a time to celebrate within the last year.
You're right. You're right. Oh, that's the real Jim Lovell, who Hanks was speaking to.
Oh.
The guy in the admiral hat and uniform. That was the actual Jim Lovell in a cameo. Actually, not an admiral. He was supposed to be a captain, which was his real rank in the military. The classic. And now the end credits with vocals by Annie Lennox. It's actually really beautiful. You know, this movie never gets old.
No, it holds up really well.
Oh. And it's even better talking about it while it's playing. That's why we do these commentaries.
Tom and Jerry's.
Sure. Oh God, that was terrible.
Very cool.
So how does it feel revisiting it?
It holds up. Like I think you said it very well with the use of practical effects. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a beautiful movie. It has great visuals, but the story interweaves within those practical effects seamlessly. So and I think because it doesn't, CGI in its current state looks great until
Hmm.
time has passed. Then you can really see how outdated something is.
Hmm.
But because it doesn't really rely heavily on CGI, that's why it holds up so nice. Is because you can really, see the movie for what it's worth in the plot. So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
It's a
Great act. I mean, it's. I think you're absolutely right. It's Ron Howard's best movie.
yeah. It's an epic, and it's really just about three guys trying to get home safely. That's it. It's so simple.
No, you're right. Right. If you have to kind of deconstruct it and layer it, yeah, the foundation is three guys trying to be going home.
And they make it really, really, it's like an epic.
Yeah.
And it feels
It's
like
You're
great.
right. It's a really a road trip movie.
Yeah. It's kind of a yeah
But
journey to
yeah,
the moon.
yeah. They just have to go from A to B. That's
Yeah,
it.
with some
You
bumps
know?
along the way.
Yeah, that's all. There's some challenges.
I think Captain Phillips though was his closest movie to this in
Yeah.
recent times.
Even like, yeah, the scenes where the capsule's in the water feels like, the rescue boat, at the end. So
Yeah, I think with that
also, yeah.
that
I'm
movie
glad
felt
that
in general.
I like it when Tom Hanks plays original characters,
Mm,
so this new movie that we watched, The News of the World, it was nice to kind of see him in something different.
yeah,
Yeah,
he could pretty much do anything. It seems.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he even played a cross dresser in Bosom Buddies. So
There you go.
you know, I think he's covered all the bases.
Yeah, I think when we were reading off like our most anticipated list,
Hmm.
apparently he's going to be in a sci-fi movie where he plays a inventor.
Hmm.
Like that's like kind of goes off the wall,
Is it
and
like?
I think that would be interesting. Like seeing him in a sci-fi movie
Hmm.
would be interesting. This is
I think it'd be cool to see him in like a nobody type of movie, like that type of like just like a family man who gets pushed too far. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I could I I would argue that maybe Road to Perdition is that movie.
Okay. Okay.
In a way, you know. Um, but yeah, something different like that. Like it would be interesting to see him. Same way that I would think that like Quentin Tarantino doing a sci-fi movie would be interesting.
Yeah.
You
I like
know.
that idea. I'll take a sci-fi Tarantino film over a Bond Tarantino film, though.
Yeah.
I think he'd have a lot of fun with that, with science
Yeah.
fiction.
Yeah. I would watch anything from Tarantino.
Yeah, I hope he does. I mean, I think he's not even that old. He's not even 60 years old. I think he's got a lot of years of filmmaking ahead of him.
Yeah. I think he just has that mentality. Like, hey, like,
Hmm.
and I think like he's big into old school filmmaking. Like he's not huge into the streaming
Yeah.
stuff. He knows how to play the game though. Like he's doing partner deals with them, like
Hmm.
extended footage and all that stuff on Netflix. But I think I don't know how real it is, but like apparently there's talks about him doing a series on Netflix based off of Leonardo DiCaprio's character's television show from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I heard about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
That could be kind of cool.
that would be cool.
A Western movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but he's already done like 3 Westerns already, right? Or like 2. It's 2.
Yeah, I'm done with his westerns.
Yeah,
Uh,
same.
I'm not. I love Tarantino. I get, but I liked Django more. But Hateful Eight was good, but it was just too much. So like I think
Yeah, it was
having two westerns, I'm like, it's done. Like
yeah.
I was really happy
Hmm.
with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because it was like going back to not familiar ground. It's different, but like I kind of like something that's not western. I was kind of just happy with.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah,
I was very excited for that, and I think the film delivered.
yeah.
It's great. Well, now I kind of want to watch some more Ron Howard movies. You game? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Yeah, I mean, just yeah, let's lay them out. I'm not a huge Ron Howard fan.
hmm,
Like I forget what he produces, or directs, I should say.
I mean,
But
Splat and Willow are 2 of his better ones
yeah,
from the 80s. A Beautiful Mind, of
A
course,
Beautiful Mind. Yeah, I
film
just think
Best
about that.
Picture.
But like, yeah, it's in my head. He's not an actor that kind or a director, I should say, that stands out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, as opposed to like Ridley Scott or Tarantino or Scorsese,
Well, for me, Spielberg. But,
Spielberg,
but I think Howard has a similar feel to Spielberg. Both, they create
yeah,
very beautiful films, great stories,
yeah,
excellent character interactions,
yeah,
and just
and
fun.
a touch of family,
Mm-hmm.
like family friendliness.
Yeah, because I saw this when I was 10, and it stuck with me. I appreciate it more as an adult, but
Hmm.
it's not a bad family film. So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that was a long show.
Yes.
But I want to
Yeah.
thank you, Chris. This was amazing.
Yeah. Good
uh,
conversation.
yeah,
As
anytime.
always. I know we derailed,
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
and if anyone who's watching, they're probably scratching their heads like when are they getting back to the
I,
into the
we did our best, folks.
yeah. That's the beauty of this, though. It's like just the conversation around film. That's the big takeaway.
That's it.
Yeah, but I think we covered everything. I
I think
mean, yeah,
so.
I think we covered Apollo 13. We covered what we talked about Leslie Nielsen.
How the hell did we end up there?
We
I love.
talked about Nickelodeon.
Yep, yep. But I want to thank you again, Chris. Thank you. This was amazing. You're
Good
always welcome.
times.
Yeah, you're always welcome on the show. You know that. And I want to thank everyone listening and watching on your devices. And yeah, we will see you soon for more commentaries. Until then, take care.